So we are at 7 seconds in. Hopefully you're able to have sound. I will be sharing the link in just a second. Um, I was supposed to have a special guest tonight. I don't know what happened. I kind of sent out some texts. Hopefully everything is okay. And I hope to reschedule that and have them again. If you will, I'm gonna have because I had some audio issues before the show started. That's why I was kind of doing things early, and I'm gonna make sure. Let me know if you can actually hear me and that it is being you're actually able to hear me at the moment. So, do you turn it up? Can you hear me, or is it still doing the countdown? So you may hear a double in the background as Nikki is checking the audio to make sure. Okay, awesome. So that is working. Whew, that took a little bit. So, hey, my friend, I can hear you, brother. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. Now, I am going to share this link and I'm going to put it in the thing, and I'm going to pretty much have this as a open to everyone tonight. So I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go to the YouTube studio real quick. Let's see if I can plug this in. And let's go here. And we're going to go here. And so, yeah, got that on mute. And oh, wait, that's on mute. And I'm going to hit play for that. Let that catch up. And I'm going to share the link again just to make sure that it is out there because I shared it on another thing. And so there we are. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about the show. I was excited about the guests I was going to have. If you want to be a guest, I definitely, you can, hit me up on Instagram or Autocorrect Primer at gmail.com. And I will love to have you as a guest. So tonight, though, the topic was going to be about what is your passion and what makes you passionate about your collection or anything that you're into. And I was hoping to have another perspective because a good friend of mine, David Hill, was the guest, and he had did this awesome custom for me where it was um trap jaw, and he zombified it for Nikki, which we love and have it. And then also he did some GI Joes for us, and I like gosh, my brain is not working right now. It's not Becky Lynch, my Ronnie Rousey, and he did a custom with a cobra with her and her head, and did a custom for me. Yo, what's up? Glad to have you. And so with that, I was wanting to see, what he was into now, what he was working on and stuff like that. And so, with him not being able to be here tonight, I am opening up the floor. But remember, as we're doing this, no profanity. Everything has to be PG and staying on topic. Oh, I have my good friend though. Howard, how are you doing, my man?
Doing all right, sir. How about you?
Awesome, awesome. I saw your brand new robot you got. That you like did the buttons and he shoots, and he actually still had his hat, which I was surprised by. They are very hard to find. Those are older figures.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I saw that. I thought it was really, really cool. So what else have you been, speaking of a community, what part of the community do you like that you and I met on a doing a toy show for Sean and Charlotte in Wilmington and also in what's that, in Lumberton. And
Yes, sir.
oh, Jerry's going to take over some of the one in Lumberton, so I was kind of happy for that.
Hmm.
So yeah, and you and your wife are big in Star Wars and in robots. I got someone else I'm going to bring in, and then I'll uh welcome.
Hello.
How you doing, Dwayne? Glad to have you. Got a little
Good to
bit
be
of
here.
a reverb. I heard myself in the background. So tell me a little bit about what you're passionate about right now. What's the one thing you're on the big toy hunt you're looking for?
As far as I go,
Yeah.
one thing I'm in the toy hunt for right now, I would have to say, uh, uh, just mostly building. Hopefully, one day I'll be able to afford a Roby Senior. Hopefully, a Squeaks from Transformers. Those those ones that the where you voice activated, where they start transforming with voice activation. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the Optimus Prime, Megatron, and
Oh yeah.
Grimlock. Oh yeah. I did. I found Squeaks at Lumberton Toy Con in one of those grab bags and got it for
Oh,
Nikki. Yeah. So it was one of the big, the big one, and
the
it was all
remote
the little.
control one.
Yes, yes,
Oh
and
man.
it works. And it works. It has all those little beeps and squeaks and everything. So yeah. Um, but yeah, it was. She loves it. It's one of her favorites. So that's one of the ones that's on your hunt right now. That's pretty cool. Um,
Uh,
go ahead.
Better yet, I even got my wife a couple of those Wowie animal. I think it was the animatronics. Hey, baby, you want to come show Derek your presents that I got you?
Ooh, please show and tell. Show and tell. Yeah,
That's it.
I I'll show you something that's in my little goodie box that I've been getting lately. So I'll make my screen bigger. And when she comes in, holler at me and I'll make your screen bigger if I can remember how to do that. Let's see. There we go.
Uh-oh.
So something I've been excited about is I love the 3 3/4 inch GI Joes and I love O-rings.
Mm-hmm.
And right here is Duke from the Super 7 reaction line. And
Uh-huh.
it is like the original GI Joes as they came out, carded, a little bit newer characters, nice bios on the back of them, which I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that is friggin' cool. So Nikki found Duke. We found Serpentor at Target. That's really when I realized they were out, and he was the first one I purchased. Glad I did. They have a whole little lineup on the back, which I'm going to slowly. My goal is for me, because I love GI Joe, I love the 3 3/4. I'm all in on these O rings. I actually got a whole big box of GI Joe O rings, the original from the 83 84 line
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to be putting together and showing off. But here was Snake Eyes that we got off of Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly. I was like, wow. So, and then from there, a character that was never made, and I do have a character that's supposed to be coming out. It's another one that was never made, but this was the guy that Duke fought in the original G.I. Joe cartoon. Hasbro never made this guy, always wanted this guy. Uh, Rumar is his name, and he was like a giant that fought. And just nice little bio. I was like, yeah, they got me. Like Nikki said, Oh yeah, as soon as they started bringing out characters that they never made, and they got one that's another one that's called Fluffy. He's going to be coming out. Now I was a little let down. I got this from Amazon, and this was also 3 3/4, but it was Cobra Commander, but it was the original reaction, not the O-ring. But I'm still happy to have him in my collection. So, but as you can see, it came in really damaged. But these guys are great. This is something that's become a new passion for me is Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cartoon that's on Warhammer TV, which is called the Black Talon, and this is all the characters, and these are model kits that you put together and you paint yourself. So I've really gotten into this. I have about 300 characters now,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend Bill really got me into third-party transformers. So here is um, this is Ultra Magnus. So I got
Mm-hmm.
him, and then I also have um, Blaster, and so these are some things that I'm looking forward to putting together soon and having in my collection. So let me make myself smaller. Hey, hey! Oh, did she bring it? Ooh, look at the little puppy.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
And
hey.
then we got the lion too. Here you go, baby. Here's the
Okay, nice. Wow. Now, do they make the different sounds and stuff too? And
yes, sir.
oh, so
Daddy's talking.
let's see. Do they make a oh? Is your baby wanting you to hold him?
Do what now, Derek?
I said, how are y'all doing? I said, it's you got like one of the babies wanting you to hold you. Yeah, your animal. I heard Daddy talking.
Ow. Hold on a second, Derek. I've got to get my microphone back right.
Oh yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. That'll give
Sorry
me
about
time.
that.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna just put these guys back, my GI Joes back in here real quick while you're doing that. And yeah, Ruben, if you want to jump in anytime. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, maybe next time, brother. Maybe next time. You'll be able to. But yeah, man. How many robots do you have in your collection right now? Howard?
Collection right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. There is
Still
one.
need a
Two,
Johnny Five.
yeah, we still need a Johnny Five. Yes. Uh,
Johnny
one,
Five's
two,
alive.
3, 4, 5. I guess you can count this as a robot. It's more like a projector, Bluetooth speaker. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I guess.
You And these are all the ones that was like probably around between the 80s and the 90s. A lot of them.
Actually, the droids up here, they're all new.
Oh, I
They're
saw
the
a jumper. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, these are a lot of those are like the Droid Depot that I've been finding on eBay.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about my dinos too.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Well, hey, what else you got in your collection behind Jesse? Some monsters and
Oh yeah,
hey, if you want, yeah, show off your collection. Let's do that. I think this would be really cool to show off.
got
Is
some of
that the
my
different
NECA
monsters?
horror. I
Yeah.
got my Zelda Sword and Shield over here.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
My Death of Superman and Doctor Strange comics that I
Okay.
got framed.
Nice.
Let's see, some of the superhero squad.
Oh, wow.
My
That
Diamond
is awesome.
Select Marvel,
Awesome Punisher.
Star Trek. And the cool thing about the Punisher is he's got a Spider-Man pinball machine that he's got old dude here strapped to.
Oh, Nikki loves pinball machines, so yeah, that's Spider-Man pinball machine with yeah,
Oh
that's pretty
yes.
cool. What else you got?
Got some Star Treks.
Oh, Next Generation. There you go. Captain Picard, make it so.
He make it. And these my stepdaughter got for me at a yard sale. She saw them giving them away for about $1 a piece,
Oh wow.
and she's like, "Oh no, Pappy's got to get that." So
That is
and
cool.
got some
Oh,
Dungeons and
D&D.
Dragons.
Yeah.
Got my horror stuff over here.
All right, let's go through. Okay, so I see Jason. I see. Okay, yeah. Let's. And that's the Crow and
Yes,
Ash.
sir.
There you go. Perfect. Army of Darkness. Friend of Nikki's actually was in the movie Army of Darkness.
Oh man.
Yeah, so she's actually in the actual movie itself as one of the cast.
Well,
And that
that's
was
cool.
filmed. Yeah, and that was filmed locally in where we are, North Carolina.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah. Um. So what else what are the horror characters you got? I'm curious now. I'm a
Of
horror.
course,
horror.
the McFarlane monsters. I got a lot of McFarlane.
Okay. Good toys.
Got some boxed Demon Slayer.
Oh yes. Oh, I like Demon. We love Demon Slayer. I have on my phone. I actually have that. I'll show it to you real quick. My phone case is
Oh
Demon
man.
Slayer. So yeah, that's cool. Let's go.
And then I got
I love seeing. Oh, I love the Superman, the Joker from the Batman Returns. Nice.
the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another McFarlane Monsters piece, The Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I haven't seen that piece. Oh, Gremlins back there. Okay,
Yeah,
Pop
got some
Toys, Venom.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
And then I got my plasma ball over here. My wife got me this a while back,
Oh, that's cool.
like a year or two ago, I believe it was.
I tell you, I figured it would be nice to have is if they would ever make a robotic K9 from Doctor Who. You remember the robot dog?
Yes, K9, the Doctor Who robot dog.
Yeah, man, I would love to have a remote control and let it chase my cats around. I think that would be awesome.
That's about like me and a remote controlled Dalek one day, hopefully.
Oh yeah,
Exterminate.
exterminate. Yes, man, I'll get no better than the Fourth Doctor. I love that. And here's some movie fact if you didn't know. In that Doctor Who, the scarf that was made wasn't intentionally to be a main prop for the show. It was only supposed to be a little bit, but he loved it so much he had to kelp it. And then Nikki was actually at one time working on you got the pattern. So the yes. So but health reasons she wasn't able to make it for me. And it's all right. She's made up for it. If you can see the collection behind me, she's made up for it. What else you got? I see you got this big old like toothy creature behind your head right there. I gotta know who that is.
The creature behind my head.
It's big old green.
Oh, the Fortress of Fangs you were seeing.
Oh, from nice.
Dungeons and
That's pretty cool.
Dragons.
Yes. Wow.
Got some more Dungeons and Dragons.
That is pretty cool. I love. Oh, Godzilla. There you go.
And of course, Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Some more Demon Slayer figures
Demon
that
Slayer,
my wife
yeah.
found on Temu.
Oh, on Temu. Oh,
Uh huh.
Niggas been getting stuff off of Temu. That's like a new addiction for me. I have to stay away from it sometimes. Those deals are great, but they can add up.
And I know that this doesn't, I know this is more of a Chinese diorama, but I found it on Temu. I'm like, that's about the closest thing I can find at the moment to a Japanese diorama.
Man, nice. We've been oh yeah, you got the Zoids. I actually like those that Hasbro came out with. It was a more oh, you got One Piece, very nice. And Dragon Ball, which Nikki's not a fan of Dragon Ball, but that's my fault.
No.
Yeah, she's I about ruined her from anime. Oh, sorry, I made myself too big. I about ruined her from anime altogether. I love Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball,
Oh yeah.
Super, Super now. And she would come over and I had to get the VHSs because where I live, we didn't have where Cartoon Network or anything like that. So I would go to a place called Media Play
Mhm.
and I would buy these expensive VHSs of anime and pop them in and watch them. And she would come over to the apartment and I'd have them going. And then we got married and it was like, hey, there's a brand new Dragon Ball GT. And she's like, no, I'm done. I love you, but I'm done. It took them 3 episodes just to throw one punch. No,
Oh man.
I just can't do it anymore. They're going nonstop. So I was like, yeah. So, but then I hooked her with Naruto, and from there, we now are subscribed to not one anime company, but two. We have um, Crunchyroll and High Dive. See, she knows a bit, and she knows she's the one that turned me on to Demon Slayer, actually.
Oh
So
yeah. That's
yeah.
one of the that's one of the few anime that my wife will actually sit there and watch with me.
Oh man.
Because usually I watch it whether it's Japanese, whether it's in English, and
Yes. I'm the
sometimes it's
same.
like a lot of the animations too, like when they do the big, uh,
Like,
how when they do their big wide open mouth thing that they
oh
do,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
that kind of that's kind of too much for her sometimes.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah. Let's see what else you got. I'm gonna make the screen bigger again. I'm very curious. Okay, so we have
Oh,
Stars.
what kind of
do what now, baby?
I said I have more of an issue with the ones that look like porn stars.
More of an issue with the. Oh, Lord.
she's calling you out.
You
So
calling me out, but
nice. Oh, Night at Freddy's.
mm,
Yeah, pretty cool, man. Who's in the box?
who's in the box? That
Yeah,
is a.
Fallout. Oh, okay.
Mm,
Nice. Yeah, Nikki said she loves the Mario characters. Yeah,
oh, thank
Zelda.
you.
Yeah. Yes, you should definitely. That's something I'm going to do. Is I'm going to do a video on Nikki's plushie toys. She has like hundreds of plushies that are from My Little Pony. Oh, I like the bobblehead.
Yeah, this and the Ash bobblehead. I hope I
Yeah.
got it centered in the camera.
Yes, I see it.
These actually came from a mission trip on when I was on a mission trip in Kentucky. There was like
Really?
a craft store that we passed,
Okay.
and we stopped by, and these little guys here were being sold for like $13 a piece.
Okay.
I'm like,
Nice.
oh man, now that's so I
That's
just had
pretty
to get
cool.
them.
Oh, trust me, I absolutely understand. Nikki's like, I can't take Derek anywhere. There's a toy owl. Derek's gonna be on the toy owl. There's no way. If I lose Derek and his phone's dead, I just walk to the toy owl and I'll find Derek immediately because that's where he's gonna be. And she's 100% right. And then I'm like, hey, can I get this? And she's like, you do realize you're 48 years old, you know. As long as it's in our budget, I was like, I still feel like I have to ask. It's like one of those things that you just because if I don't ask,
It's
then I don't have a cap. If that makes any sense, it's like if I don't ask, I just do it. It's kind of like whenever Star Wars Phantom Menace was coming out, I bought every figure and then try to figure out, okay, what am I going to do to eat and pay rent? So those are, it's all right. I've been homeless before. I can wing it. I can wing it. So yeah. But I had a really good landlord, and he waited to my next paycheck. But he's like, "That's a lot of Star Wars." I was like, "I know, right?" And he's like, "I like Star Wars," and so we had a nice little talk. I always find it interesting that anybody in their walk of life has some type of connection and has a passion to something from toys, whether they recognize it immediately or not. There's like something that immediately will draw you to a figure, and you'll be like, "Dang, man, I remember this cartoon Saturday morning, 7:30 in the morning, while my mom or dad is screaming at me to turn down the TV because it's too loud." Someone has a connection some way to some type of action figure, some type of toy line, cartoon show. Um, what was your favorite as a kid growing up? What was your favorite if you got a chance to watch the cartoon?
If
What
I
was it
had
that you
a chance to watch a favorite cartoon as a kid,
Yeah,
it was normally something like X-Men or, the Power Rangers.
good ones. Those are very good ones. For me, it was definitely Transformers GI Joe. And if I could find it, being aired, Thundercats or Silverhawks. I my brothers and I were like, yeah, we like Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, GI Joe, Transformers, He-Man. But when it came to Thundercats and um Silverhawks,
Mm-hmm.
dude, if those dials could move fast enough for me to get to it and get the antenna ears, rabbit ears working right on grandma's TV so I could watch those shows. So yeah, something about those. And then to find out there's like two new comic book series now that's out for those. And I started picking them up. They're from Dynamite Comics,
Yes, sir.
and they are absolutely awesome. I mean, they're sticking with the lore. They're adding a little bit more modernized lore to it, and so they're doing the same thing with Silverhawks, like starting them off from scratch. Like there was a group of Silverhawks that existed, and when you meet the older Silverhawks, they kind of like look like the ones from the cartoon, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, you're going to see the new cast and they look identical. So I kind of like the fact that it said, hey, 40 something years ago, we finally captured Monstar and locked him up, and he's been in lockup for these past 40 years. And then he breaks out again, he gets freed, and you're
Mm-hmm.
having the Silverhawks being reactivated. And the comic book's been great. It just takes me right back as a kid, sitting there going, Silverhawks. I mean, I still have the
Yes, sir.
song playing in the back of my head, and then my brothers would be like, ah, that's we're gonna go do something else, but then you had like Thundercats, thunder, Thundercats,
Thundercats.
and anything that could get away with hollering out ho and making it okay. It was like I loved it. I was like, hey, I could run around and call people hoes. you know. So, but no, I just it just takes you back. And my mom had saved all our toys. So I'm going through boxes of toys that was my brother's toys, my toys, and I've got Mumra, and I have Pantho, and I have Lino with the swords, with the nunchucks, headgear. Um, so I'm redoing them and cleaning them up so that I can have them displayed. And it is like, I'm running out of space. And I was like, well, we'll just buy another bookcase and put it up there. Um, what's another passion that you had that when you were finally able to get into buying for yourself? I like to find this out. When you're able to start your collection back up, what got you to start collecting again?
What got me started collecting again was looking for my old Star Trek figures that I used to have
Okay.
as a kid.
Very
And
interesting.
because my grandma had bought a lot of them for me as a kid. I'd turn around and sold a lot of them again, but these I'm like, they're staying. Win, lose or draw, they're staying.
That's pretty cool. I came across, and I didn't even know this, but apparently it was in my brother's collection. He had Data,
Mm-hmm.
and he had Picard and Geordi. So
Mm-hmm.
I have those three here from when they came out from Playmates. Um,
And
speaking of
that
that, go
that
ahead.
show was, not only was it a show set in space, but one of the characters that you just mentioned, being a blind person, for a lot of people that don't know, I'm visually impaired. That was like, awesome. It's like, okay, this guy is totally blind, has to use a visor to see, but yet look what he's doing.
I know, and he's a part of the engine crew, and he's the head guy in the engine crew. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the show itself was just so it connected that it showed that even if you have a disability, you still need to have a voice. You still need to have to be recognized, to be seen, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was a great character, and the way he was written wasn't like he wasn't a character that was off to the panel. He was a main character that was in the main storyline. That was, you know, um, they just don't make shows like that anymore. You know what I mean? And
Oh
I
yeah.
and I and I love Star Trek. I love Star Trek, but I don't think I think after Voyager and Deep Space Nine, then you had Voyager, and then you had them do the Enterprise with the guy that was in Quantum Leap. I
Uh
love those,
yes, sir.
you know, but for me, I couldn't get into the Star Trek Discovery,
Yeah,
the brand new
Discovery
one.
just wasn't hitting on much. Now I did like Picard.
Yes, yes, I did like Picard. I did like the fact that you had to see he's back. You get to see the old cast. You get 7 and 9. You get a lot of
Oh,
you know,
I was losing it on the final season when they not only brought the old crew back together, but then
yeah.
they end up bringing out the old school Enterprise, and it's like, oh, I was like
It
emotional
hit
as
that
heck.
nostalgia.
That
Yeah, it hit that nostalgia. It was like, it was hitting it like you want a show to do. I think that's kind of
yes,
like what happened with Star Wars. What they're missing the mark so much is that they're not remembering that what it was kids or you're very, or teenagers that were watching these shows and were, digesting every minute that they could. And the shows were written for everyone. You didn't have to, it didn't need to be for this group here or this group here. It was like, hey,
yeah, it was something
it's
that could
everybody.
appeal
Yeah.
to all audiences, not just this group or that group. I mean, you had
Yeah.
it was
And that's what
something.
I loved about, Picard, because Picard kind of went back to that old school storytelling.
Oh yeah,
We don't have to have these huge sets or these huge CGI, contraptions. Let's have them where they're stuck on Earth, a version of Earth, and trying to figure out how to get from the past back to where they were, kind of set in a little bit more stuff about the board and kind of like capitalized on the things that made Next Generation exactly that the next generation, and Picard felt like that. It felt like it was, um, it could have gone on, but I'm happy that they kind of like they ended it and the way they
mm-hmm.
did. It's kind of like it's a nice little book in, you know. Here's where it's going to be from now on. And I thought it was crazy as I was going back and looking because Picard made me go back and look at Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis, where the Ferengi have genetically copied Picard as a younger, like
Oh,
a
you mean the Romulans?
Romulan, sorry.
Yeah,
As a, and did you know that he who played Picard, the young Picard?
not the one in Nemesis. No.
I was very surprised. It's the guy that plays Venom.
Oh,
Yeah, it's him. He is the clone young version of Picard.
Hmm.
And I
Now I
was
know
like,
in the one Star Trek episode where Picard has that second chance to see what he could do all over again, where
mhm.
now in that version they actually had Patrick Stewart's son play Picard as a young man, but
Wow. That's pretty funny. It's just like, and then um what now are you really stoked about? What are you really excited about? That you for me right now, to give an example, Superman. I am absolutely ready to just jump in. I can't, it comes out in July. I never want to wish for the year to move faster, but I can honestly say I can't wait to actually see this movie of Superman. Is there anything that you're really looking forward to?
if I had to pick something, I'm not real sure.
Is there anything that you're watching right now that's like, because a friend of mine was telling me, he's like, hey, I know it's not Transformers or toys, but hey, have you checked out this TV show, Yellow Jacket? And I was like, no, I put it on me and Nikki's queue. And he's like, dude, you got to watch it. It's a very interesting story. And like, kind of like what you share with me, the movie where the artificial intelligence takes over
Oh
because how
yes,
they're moon, I can't remember the name of it, but
Alpha
uh,
Test.
yes, that's on Tubi. If anybody wants to see it, it's on Tubi
Yep,
right now, still for free, and it's like a very good movie.
I think it's even
So
still on Freevee too.
okay, on Freebie also, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nah, that's a
One of
great
the
movie.
things,
Yeah.
but yeah, lately me and my wife have been getting into this show called Black Sails.
Okay, with the pirates and
Oh
stuff.
yes.
Okay, I saw that was available for us to be able to watch. Tell me a little bit about it. I noticed now Nikki is like pirates. Let's
Mhm.
talk about some pirates. So, but yeah, what?
Well, it's supposed to be like the prequel to the book Treasure Island, from my understanding.
Okay,
It starts out with this one guy who he's pretty much being a coward at first. It's like, you're like, what's this dude's deal? Turns out the cook is also hiding from the fight and everything. So he's like, but he's noticed the cook has stolen something from the ship's logs. So he kills the cook over it, and then he takes the cook's place, saying, "Oh, my name is John Silver. I'm just a cook," and all that. So when the Captain Flint, he ends up joining Captain Flint's crew, and I'm not telling the whole story, babe. I'm only telling the starting of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to tell the whole story.
I was like, don't give me no spoiler alert.
No, but yeah, you pretty much there's like you end up seeing different pirates from history as far as the show goes. You got Charles Vane, you got Anne Bonny, Calico Jack Rackham, all those characters.
It's pretty cool. And me and a lot around here, people are still hunting for Blackbeard's treasure. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually for a little bit have family that lives on the Outer Banks, and so I had been out there for a good little while, and yeah, that people are always hunting for treasure and pirate treasure because the Outer Banks was one of the places that they used to come and hide in
Right.
as they went down south to I think it was Cuba. So
Hmm.
yeah. So what else is so you got that, you got pirates, and you've been getting robots. Now when you get into robots, have you been thinking about like is there like certain robots you're looking for? Or do you just go to eBay or go and you go, oh wow, hey, that's a good deal. How do you go about getting your collection built that way?
Certain ones I am looking for. I forgot to tell you the Dustbot, the Tandy Dustbot is pretty much like the precursor to the Roomba, but it was like put out by Tomy and re-released by Radio Shack, I guess back in the 80s.
Okay. And what
And
was it called again?
that's one robot I'm looking forward to getting. One thing I've been wanting to do also with my robots is um, take and get finished with Roby Jr. here.
Oh wait, let me make your stream bigger. Shut that off. That is okay.
If I can get him back up to working order, uh, then hopefully he can be our robot ring bearer at our vow renewal.
Oh,
And I'm also thinking about getting a DJ Rex, DJ
DJ Red.
R3X from the Droid Depot. I don't even know if they even sell him anymore, but I guess he could be like our robot DJ for the vow renewal.
That's cool. That's now is it just gonna be a private thing? You're opening it
Um,
up?
I'm. I don't think it'll be a private thing. I mean, it's just something I'm, in the planning of,
Cool.
you know, uh, for like our 10-year wedding anniversary when it comes.
That's pretty cool.
Fun little fact that me and my wife have been together. I haven't. Me and her have been together for 9 years, and 7 of those years we've been married. So when you think about it, it's got the same name. It's the same as a Star Trek character's name, 7 of 9. And
Yeah.
so I told her, I said, I guess resistance
Futile.
was futile from the get go, huh?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Nikki and I in June will be celebrating our 25th anniversary.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so um we're with health reasons we're like we're not going to do anything big, but we like to go Nikki, if she's going to be able to pick something, it's going to be food. It's going to be like, hey, let me take you to this vegan restaurant. I'm like, what? But I actually went for her birthday one time, and I was like, dang, that's like some of the best food I ever had. But yeah, yeah, that's probably what we'll do. I think also we made a joke. Nikki had a surgery, a little minor procedure she had to have done early this morning, and they had to put a epidural shot into her lower back to help relieve some of her pain. And I was looking at her thing, and I was like, "Wait a second, baby. Your follow up for us coming back in is on our anniversary." She says, "Yes, that means I get you out of the house."
Mhm.
It's like, that's one way to do it. Um, one of the questions, Master Bars actually says thoughts on Transformers Wild King. I've actually been looking at this, and I'm hoping to do a Transformer thing for a community for all of us. But the Wild King actually looks really good. I actually want to get the figures because Nikki is really big Transformers, but she's a really big Beast Wars Transformer, so she likes the beast and the creatures. Same thing for Star Wars. Same thing for any toy line. If there's like monsters, creatures, or animals, Nikki's going to want to get them. And I showed that it's going to have like a giraffe. It's got an elephant. You got some dinosaurs, and it looks. Yes, I agree. It looks a whole lot better than the cyber world. Um, but yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that and hoping to be able to find and get those action figures for Transformers. I like the Megatron, and I hope we'll get those also in America. But yes, they it does. But I'm actually looking forward to the Cyber World Transformers. I know it's a kid line, like a toy kid line, but it's like what Harold and I like. We both like is toys that make noise, and so there's going to be a Scorponok that's going to be, all bells and whistles and sounds, and he's going to be able to transform, and you'll hit buttons on him and he's going to move and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that Transformer line because they're actually going to bring the bells and whistles back where the robots will move. You hit a button and they'll make different sounds and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But I will agree that the Wild Kingdom, by far, toy line base. I watched the first anime for it, the first 2 episodes. It was in Japanese, but it was very campy Japanese, very kiddie Japanese. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And I hope that they'll get a English dubbed. But right now, you can actually watch them the first 2 episodes on YouTube right now, Japanese with subtitles. So yeah, it looks really cool. They're only 10-minute episodes, so that's the same thing they're going to be doing with the Cyber World is the same thing. So maybe we'll see the two because it's kind of like Hasbro and Takara both doing these Transformer lines with animals. Maybe we'll see a crossover. Maybe they'll bleed together. But yeah, that I just want to make sure I answer their questions in the comments. Sorry, Harold. Speaking of that, you said something about Radio Shack having a Transformer that was not Transformer, but the robot that was the exclusive. Um, what was the name of that one again that you said?
The Tandy Dustbot. It was original released by Tomy of Japan,
Yes.
but Radio Shack, got another copy of it, and they rebranded it as under the Tandy line.
Okay, that's what I was wondering because they did the same thing with Transformers too. They actually got a from Tomikara. They had a Shockwave,
Mm-hmm.
and he was typically purple in the cartoon and in the toy release by Hasbro, but Radio Shack got hold of it, and they did the same thing, and they rebranded it and gave him a whole new another name, and he was all black, or actually dark gray and black. So
Galactic
yeah,
Man.
it was, huh?
Was it the Galactic Man line?
Yes, and so yeah, so you're like, I think it was really cool. A lot of people don't know who Radio Shack is, and I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of a history of it. Radio Shack used to be the place where you got all your gadgets from. If you need to fix something with your TV or your VCR, or you want to have walkie-talkies or CB radios or any electronics, they were the place to go. And they had decided that, hey, we're also going to have a toy line because toys are really blowing up. And Transformers and GoBots were real big in the 80s. And Transformers won the battle over GoBots. And so Radio Shack was like, hey, kids love robots. So what are we going to do? We're going to take the toy line like they did from Japan. We're going to bring it to America and Americanize it, rebrand it, pop it out there, and that was something that Radio Shack did. And I really hate that they bellied up back in
Well,
2008, 2009, I think it was, during the big old economy pop. But yeah,
They
that was
actually have a little bit of a comeback. They've actually started selling on Amazon. You can find some Radio Shack stuff now. The Radio Shack, they got this Bluetooth speaker now, as
oh
well
okay.
as some of their headphones and stuff. But apparently, they're trying to make a comeback with some of their stores. Uh, but yeah, they had some decent ideas back in the day, back before they thought they were a cell phone dealership and all that. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that was their downfall. But they definitely tried to, always do everything with technology, and I think that they just stayed, you know, in in the line of not being a cell phone provider because at that time I know they're trying to be up there, but you already had other companies like Alltel and stuff like that that were already a telephone line moving into the cell phone lines, and that became issues there. But yeah, um, but you had a lot of at the time in the 80s, you had companies rebranding stuff. That was
Mhm.
something that, was a common thing. I mean, so with the rebranding or and stuff like you're looking for, how hard is it to find those things? Because I know trying to find the original black gray version of the Shockwave would is almost nearly impossible, or you're gonna pay a small fortune for it if you want to get it fully together.
Mhm.
How hard is it for you to find some of the guys that you've been finding? Because you found the robot, the this last one that you had your review on, and you actually came with a hat, which is like one of the things that's more expensive sometimes than the robot itself.
Exactly. A lot of times when you buy one of these guys, you you don't uh you don't
Yeah.
get this here. This is what a lot of times is missing, as well as a lot of his compartment doors here. And just to be in this condition, to have this much with him is pretty good condition.
Oh yeah, that's a really, I mean, that's the perfect condition. And answer about Star Convoy. I would love to get Star Convoy. But for me to afford Star Convoy with him being like 150 plus dollars, uh, that would do away with me getting any of the first wave of Transformers Age of Primes. I'd rather get all the other Primes that I've always wanted that they've never had. So it looks great. It's a beautiful looking figure, but for the price, that's just too rich for my blood, to be honest. So it's going to be a pass for me. Speaking of that, like for you to find that guy, it's kind of like I've been looking at Mask. There was a TV show called Mask. I wasn't really big into it, like my brothers were, and I was going through the toys and I got some of the old masks. I saw they're going to come out with a new toy line called Mask. But sometimes the helmets, people don't realize when you're going with these older toys, trying to find like that hat and the other accessories are sometimes more expensive than the figure itself. Um, what's your price point when you're looking to get something? How high are you? I mean, you don't have to go into full like absolute detailed numbers, but what's a price cap for you?
That all depends on what it is really. I mean, like if it's a robot, it's whatever I can afford to start in a firm for.
Yes, that's how it is with me when it comes to Warhammer. Warhammer's an expensive hobby in itself, but I enjoy it because I actually get the glue and piece the pieces together, and then I get to paint them myself. But it's an expensive hobby because typically the cheapest little figure you're gonna find sometimes is like 40, $50. And I have to make sure that I have squirreled away And like Nikki was telling me today, she's like, we want to get back to a budget because we kind of like this to make sure you got certain figures or certain things that came out. My toy budget has just been squashed. And I knew it was coming because I knew there were certain things that were coming out that I really wanted to get. And I knew if I didn't get it now, I wouldn't ever be able to get it. It would kind of go away for forever. And once it was gone, it was going to be gone. But yeah, that's something that we do. We have a thing saying, okay, here's the budget. Let's say the budget's going to be $100, but that $100 is got to cover any pre-orders or anything that you see at the store or anything like that for the whole 30 days in the month. And that's why I think that sometimes like Star Convoy, that kind of like that kills someone's budget completely, uh kills it all the way around. I mean, I've been getting third party transformers, which is from a company called New Age, but I can actually get them from Shozy Toys, and they're cheaper than Hasbro transformers and better quality. Like I'm getting the whole Devastator, six six figures, all of the guys, and they'll combine together to make Devastator. And Hasbro has two characters coming out together, and that they cost more than what it cost me to get all six of them from a third party company that is made better than the Hasbro figures. And I was like, I get six figures or I get just two figures. And then I can't ever combine Devastator because that's all I will be able to afford. I do see that companies do these, like Hasbro does cash labs, and that's where you can say, "Hey, I'm going to back this Transformer or this Star Wars figure, or this X-Men figure, or even Ghostbuster stuff." And I saw just recently that Ollie's has got some of those rare exclusive. You can only back them if you're going to do the hash lab, and now they're had this overflow, and nobody's bought the overflow, so Ollie's is getting a lot of it. Um, that to me makes the wheels in my head go around, going, and you're definitely costing too much money. Something is a disconnect where you're telling people, "Hey, I'm going to raise our money because of tariffs," but yet you're also telling us that you're paying people in Vietnam, you're paying them 94 cents an hour. So I mean, but what you got in your hand? Like,
This is the RoboBank that I was telling you about a while back.
yes.
Some of you guys know one of was it my birthday or it was Father's Day, I believe. My wife's like, "What you want for Father's Day? What you want for Father's Day?" I'm like, "Baby, don't get me anything. You don't have to get me anything, but I want to get. I don't want anything. Just don't get me anything. I don't." And needless to say, she said, "Well, okay, here's $25. Get what you want." So I'm kept trying to hand the money back to her. She's like, "Don't you do it." So, needless to say, I happened to be looking on eBay, and this little guy popped up. And I'm like, that is kind of cool, And I have been wanting to start a Radio Shack collection, which ended up turning into a robot collection. But I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. So I went ahead and bought it. And this is one of those rare items that is hard to find as far as this one goes.
Okay.
You can find Roby the Robot Banker all day. But this little guy, especially, you can't. He's hard to find.
And
with or without box, sir.
Why is that? Why is he more of a harder figure to find than the other ones? Were they not made as much, or?
I don't know. I've pondered that question many a days, but I don't really know.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that and that there's some figures you would think, nobody's gonna have it, and then you find it, like, abundantly, and then figures you think, "Surely I'm gonna find this figure," and then it's like, "Holy moly, man, that figure's, like, non-existent anymore." It's like it doesn't exist. Now with your robots and stuff, I noticed that you when you show yours off, do all of them work, or do you have to go back and tweak them or work on them? Do you do that part too if you have to fix them?
Sometimes I do, like the Roby Junior. I've been working on him. He's got new treads on him. We My wife had to resolder some wires, but she but for some reason he's back to not turning on again. So we've got to figure out what's going on there.
Okay, so you do a little bit of a touch up and fixing.
A little bit.
Yeah, I admire that. I mean, I have a friend right now. He's been working on this new diorama that he's doing for his Transformers, and we were playing Fortnite, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to get into buying the dinosaurs, but I've been doing the reviews on those, and I'm getting more views for those than I am my Transformers." And I was like, "Isn't it crazy?" I did a couple of Jurassic Park dinos, and it's like, bam, man, they explode and they're going off, and and he's making dioramas, and is amazing because he's like taking the G1 cast of Transformers, and he's now working on making the Ark, the space shuttle that they crashed into the volcano. And
Yes,
now
sir.
he's doing a diorama for Jurassic Park dinosaurs and doing Beast Wars characters that's going to be mixed with it. And I was like, I'm just amazed by. I mean, I'm artistically inclined, but to have the time, I have time, a little bit of time to do the Warhammer painting and gluing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, that's some dedication though. So if you're finding something that's not working, I give you kudos, dude, that y'all are trying to figure it out and how to put it together. And soldering, man, soldering is a tedious thing sometimes. You want to get too gloppy and you want to make sure you put enough. So um they have a lot of transistors and little old data cards too, right?
Uh,
And you
there's definitely yeah, there when you get down to the circuit board and all that, man, it's
wow.
but yeah, there's definitely a good bit of stuff.
Now, you were saying now that you're working on getting Radio Shack um, figures,
Mm-hmm.
and you're now finding out there's a whole lot of robots. Now, are you going to look to see if you get any of the old Transformers that they actually did and put out, or
I've,
is that something that's not in your wheelhouse?
I've debated it because the now I did used to have it wasn't the Transformer Galactic Man, but it was the one that looks like RoboCop.
Okay, yeah.
And my uncle used to, oh, the Galactic Man. I'm like, it's not Galactic Man, it's RoboCop. Well, which it was Galactic Man, but as far as I was concerned, it's RoboCop because he looked just like RoboCop.
Yep.
Because I was like big time into RoboCop at the time, and my aunt apparently saw it at Radio Shack and bought it for me. So
That's cool. My my grandmother, many years ago, she passed away, but um, she she was a very rich woman. So Transformers were, my family could afford the little tiny Transformers, not the big diecast everything, But I
mhm.
remember her finding a transformer, back in the day, third party, very cheap plastic stuff like that. And I look back on that and go, man, I wish I still had those. And you can't find them because, some obscure company that put those out. But, I was looking at some of them on eBay and I was like, holy moly, man, some of these things are going for hundreds of dollars. And, you know, as a kid, I'm going, oh, that's not a transformer. It was a transformer. It transformed into, an insect, or it was a robot that didn't transform, but it looked like Soundwave.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and I look back at that and going, man, it's funny how some of those things I would like to get now,
Mhm.
just to have so I could see and go, yeah, that's what my grandma got me. And it's not the same one. 'Cause, as a kid, I was rough on my action figures. That's why I'm having to like piece together a lot of them. But yeah, you were saying you're looking for the Star Trek, and from what you had that your grandma got you, one thing that I've been doing is I have been going and finding G1
Mhm.
Transformers that either I had as a kid or I wanted as a kid and never did. And so that's something that I've been putting together and working on. And I finally finished my Dinobots. I got all the G1 Dinobots. And a friend of ours, his cousin was selling. He never took his stuff out of the boxes
Mhm.
as a kid. I was like, as a kid, he didn't think about. He's like, no, he didn't play with them. He put them up on his shelf, and he had all these Transformers still in boxes, and then the ones that were out of boxes looked like they had you just took them out of the box. And I was able to get Swoop and Snarl to finish my collection, and I'm like, that to me is something I've always wanted to do as a kid, and now as an adult, finally being able to do that. Do you feel that same type of, I've accomplished, or I've reached my height. I'm excited about it. Do you get that same feeling?
Uh, Sometimes I guess.
I think that's the great thing about collecting is that it's when you get it in hand, you're like, wow, I remember this, or man, I can't believe I finally found this. But one thing that Nick and I was like looking at each other like, you know what? What's going to happen to our collection when we're gone? I said, well, whoever gets in the house first is going to be in a gold mine if they know what's in here. If not, it'll go away like the dodo bird, and no one will ever see it, never know that it existed. But yeah, man. Uh, so what is on the docket for you and your channels are coming to a close? What's on your docket that you've got working towards?
uh, the docket we're working towards.
Yeah, for your channel, and also share where they can find your channel too.
YouTube.com/user/Vampirecowboy1. I'm also on TikTok as Harold.Brit.
Okay, and I want to make sure. So you got any future figures that you got lined up that you're going to be doing a review on?
Not at the moment, but hopefully, if all goes well, I can save up and get my mascot put together.
Oh, what mascot are you doing?
Uh, it's
And I am pasting his channel into the messages so that anyone that comes should subscribe and check out his channel. I love Howard and his wife. They are wonderful people. But go ahead. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
hopefully, like I said, I'm hoping to get my mascot put together. Take a Galaxy's Edge droid and get some like fairy droid parts, and maybe get like one of the R4, R5, R6 heads to put on it, and maybe like get some like Build-A-Bear type clothes, like a cowboy hat and vest, and name him J31-1-R0 Jethro.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Or J3T1-1-R0.
Nice. And I'm making sure that I put in your stuff in as we're
And
talking, because I want to make sure I don't forget to add your channel. And so, are you going to be doing that where people are you going to be doing it a play by play? Um,
I think I'm gonna wait till I get all my pieces that I'm wanting for him, and then do a whole video of me putting him together, as
that's
well
cool.
as I'm also planning as far as what I got lined up for my channel, probably do some more videos of the shows that we're at, and hopefully we'll get to do some more toy hunts. But
That's cool.
we'll
That's what I'm hoping to do too. So I'm hoping to start going back and doing videos of the shows we're going to, doing more interviews, and really start getting this podcast thing back up and running. Um, that's pretty cool. So
I've
with
also
that,
debated on. Sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Uh, I never take videos of my mission trips. I try to,
Yeah,
but I've wondered if maybe if I should start doing videos of my mission trips, and show you the places that I get to go on and all that.
I think you should. I really
And,
do. I think you should. I think that adds a personal nuance
mm,
to your channel. That's something that me and Nikki used to do, and it's something that we're getting back to doing. So
mm.
yeah, I think that's a great idea to do it that way.
Because I do a lot of Christian inspirations. You've probably seen some of my Christian inspirational videos that I do.
Yep.
But I figured that would like fit in with that as well. But it really shows sometimes, if you're like me, we like to think we live in a poor county, but you go to West Virginia, you
Yeah.
go up to West Virginia and see how they live up there. It's and other places, places in Kentucky, places in just all over that, it will break your heart just to see what people live like
I know, and
right
I
here
have.
in our own country.
Yes, I mean, right now, I mean, I have family that were devastated by the floods in the mountains. I'm very blessed that none of our family, lost their life. There was a lot of people that did. And if you go up into the Carolinas and the mountains of Maggie Valley and, Ashboro and stuff like that, it's like they're still trying to get things back together, and it's like the devastation, and now you got these wildfires that's been breaking out and popping out everywhere. So yeah, man, I think that's a good thing. I think for especially in this day and age, it's like Nikki and I talked about, sharing our faith, being Christians,
Mm,
um doing better, living the life, sharing the passion, the love. That the passion shouldn't just be and the community that I'm working towards with the channel is that I want to make the community to be about everyone and
mm.
anyone. And I think that in this day and age, I think we have more things that try to force us to be compartmentalized and separated, and that we're humans. So we need to start looking at it being that in some way we're like a big ball of spaghetti noodles, and you may be one strand of that noodle, but there's another strand next to you that's wrapped around, and eventually what you'll recognize in a community and how far it goes out that spaghetti noodle is a big melting pot, of multiple noodles just intertwined together. And I think that's a great idea. I commend you on it. I really do. So keep me updated. Let me know when that 10 anniversary is coming up, because Nikki and I would love to hang out and be a part of that, if that's okay. And
Will do.
I can't wait to see what else you got coming out. And I definitely want you back on. Um, and then, think about if you want to be a more permanent guest where you can be a part of the host,
I'd
let me
love
know.
to. I'd love to
Okay.
be a permanent guest.
Awesome. Then that's what we will work towards, my man. I'll have Nikki reach out, and you've got my cell phone number, I think. If you don't, I'll
Uh,
make sure that Nikki gets it to you.
I've been sending you a message on you and Nikki a message on Facebook, trying to get your
Nikki's
cell number.
Okay, Nikki's phone completely
Mm.
died, so we had to get her a brand new phone this week, and that's how she's able to do anything on Facebook.
Oh,
So we
okay.
got that up and running today. So she is saying, "Hey, I got messages to catch up on." So yes,
Mm.
I'll definitely have her look at that. Since you did that, awesome, and I'll have that email that sent to you immediately.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Well, with that, guys, that is the show tonight. We had a great time. Thank you so much for being a part of a community for all of us. And as we move forward doing this, it's not just going to be about toys, and it's not just going to be about um, a hobby. It's about how we as a community can come together on all walks of life and share your story. Until next time, y'all have a great one, and see you next Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys.